Well, hello, my friends, and welcome to today's episode of the Mastery Unleashed podcast. I'm Christie Ruffino, the host, and I have the pleasure of introducing our final team of women authors who have shared their story boldly in our Mastery Unleashed book. This has been an amazing journey, and we have so many incredible authors, so many amazing stories, and they all have a really special resource that they're going to share with you today. So, what I would like to do first is bring Carla Lewis up on stage. Carla is she's a stitch. She's awesome. We always can count on her to be funny. She's also incredibly smart. She has an amazing history, a lot of experience, and she's really passionate right now on her mission. And she's going to share that with you today as she talks about her story and why she feels so just drawn in this way. So, Carla, why don't you take a minute to share with the audience a little bit about your story and anything else you want to share with them?
Thank you, Christy. Very excited to be able to bring this story to the world and to share this time with you, just to go over what was an epiphanal moment on a Monday morning in September of 1979. And the story has a title. It's actually The Fishbowl and 16 Angry Men. I'm not sure it's good enough for a movie, but I'll tell you what, it changed my life. It was the moment that divided my life into before and after. At that point, I was a 25-year-old, female. In fact, I was wearing pink that day. I was called into a room that was filled with some very angry people. And the short story of it was, I was a computer programmer who had written a program. This was 79. I want to remind everybody it's 1979. There's a couple of weird things about that. One, that we were writing computer programs back then, way before we had any of the stuff we have today. I mean, we didn't even have screens back then, okay? But then there was this notion that I was in a technical role. I was a woman in a technical role. And at that moment, cast into this position of expertise. And the people who needed it were men who had been working longer than I had been alive. And I represented change because this computer program actually took over some of the work that they were doing. And I have to tell you, it was a significant emotional event. And it started my mission, which I have been on now for the past 45 years, to address the fact that technology can come in and it can tear people's worlds apart. Ostensibly, technology is here to help us. But if we're not ready for it, if we don't even know it's coming, and somebody throws it at us, that is difficult. And in fact, I'm not sure that change has been difficult in all of the rest of the time in my life, but I can tell you this, in an organization, change itself is not the problem. Change is not hard. What's hard is letting go of what we know. And what I discovered back then was that my job was to be perfect at delivering technology, and I was good. But when that was inflicted on people who were not ready for it, then my success became almost a dagger into who they were, how they worked, how they saw themselves. And that's what was happening with this group of people, this group of men. They had to come to this 25-year-old girl in a pink suit and ask, how do I trust this information? And now who am I? Who am I now that this report's doing my job? So I'll just tell you, the punchline on that was the report wasn't even for them. It wasn't even for them. It was something that the people up front in the business process, like if you think about a business process as a jigsaw puzzle, lots of pieces that come together. The piece that connected to them, they were the ones who ordered this report, and they looked at it and said, this looks like something that would help the guys in the fishbowl. Well, they didn't call it a fishbowl. You have to know the story. Anyway, you can read it in the book. So a 30-second conversation between those two managers would have uncovered the fact that there was this report that might help them. And instead it landed on their desks and they were completely undone. So over the years, it has been my privilege and pleasure, honestly, to work internationally, to work on helping organizations implement change in a way that assures that people are as ready for the technology as the technology is ready to do its work. And so that's what I have been working on for the past 45 years. And the passion right now is about being able to get this word out. I'm just one person. There's 24 hours in the day. So being able to take 45 years of that experience, and it's not just mine, I'm leveraging legends from across those decades to be able to come together with a process and an approach that takes the drama and trauma out of change. It saves leaders time and money and all of that craziness by getting some very clear direction up front. And so it's like, I have to get this out there. Time's ticking. I have to get this out there. So my passion right now is getting on as many stages as I can, getting the word out, and most importantly, helping organizations and individuals understand. It's not the change that's hard. It's letting go of what's different, or it is letting go of the familiar to get on to what's different. So there you go, Christy.
Yeah.
That's it in as little a nutshell that I could do it.
Well, I think now, even more so than back then, change is happening so rapidly. So we need this more than ever, right?
Yes. Yes. If you just think about AI, if
Well,
you just think about what that's going to do in terms of upheaval, it's about just getting clear up front. What's the scope? What's it going to look? What does success look like? And then what's it going to take for us to traverse that between here and there
yeah.
safely?
Yeah. Well, so that brings us to your resource because you have on a guide that you put together. It's Navigate Change Now, the essential guide for leading with confidence. You want to explain a little bit about what that is and why the
This,
audience wants it?
okay, the reason the audience wants this is it has three key pieces. There's a checklist. A checklist. This is going to help you understand what you need in terms of people, data, technology, and process, the business readiness, those four things. There's check marks, I mean, a checklist there for you to go over that. Then there are two essays. My goodness, I'm so excited. There are two audits that you can do. One is going to be checking on the scope of the change, and the other is going to be looking at the leadership's perspective on it so that we can get all of that which is not comfortable out up front, get it taken care of. You need this. You need this, whatever kind of change you're going through, and you can be successful with just this.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you because there may be people in the audience right now that says, "Oh, I could use this," or they may know somebody. So really,
Yep.
these free
Yes.
resources are for anybody that we believe or you believe out there in the audience can help, whether it's yourself or your friend or your spouse or a coworker. So feel free to get this resource, share them with them because we want as many people. And like Carla says, she's on a mission to be able to help as many people as possible.
Thanks, Christy.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks so much, Carla. I want to bring Shelley Seaforth up on stage next. Here we go, and we will kind of put you back in the little green room, Carla. We have our own little green room here. But I am really excited to introduce you to Shelley Seaforth. I didn't even know when I first met Shelley. We're like pickleball sisters.
I know, so
I
fun.
I know. I love watching all of your little posts on your pickleball adventure. It's and to me, I'm a new pickleball. Well, not new anymore, about 2 years, but I never even knew what pickleball was 2.5 years ago.
Right.
And now, as soon as my foot is healed from plantar fasciitis, all these things that happen to us, I see you had a little thing happen the other day on the court as well. But we keep going, don't we? We keep going.
Absolutely.
We're unstoppable. And so basically, Shelley has an incredible story that she wants to share as well. And she is an unstoppable woman, and she's going to, woman, she's not multiple women, trust me, that's a different book. This book,
Well, multiple personalities. I don't know.
exactly. So Shelley is an unstoppable woman, and she's going to share a little bit about her journey right now. So welcome, Shelley.
Thanks so much, Christy. I really appreciate you having me on today, and I'm excited to share a little bit about my story. I called it "Emerging from the Grind: Reclaiming a Life That Matters," and it's not just a story about me. It's really a story about the experiences that so many women face, but we rarely talk about. It's about the sacrifices we make in the pursuit of success, the toll it takes on our well-being, and the journey to reclaiming what really matters to us. I spent decades in the grind, pushing myself to succeed, proving my worth, sacrificing my personal time, sacrificing relationships, because I was always going for that next title, the next raise, the next promotion. And all those things were really important to me until that one pivotal moment where I was sitting at my grandfather's funeral and realized that there's so much more to life. On the surface, I really had it all. I had the titles, the accolades, the achievements, but deep down, I was exhausted. I was disconnected from my own life and really wondering, was this all worth it? And so my story is really one of breaking free from that cycle. It's about finding alignment with what really matters, my values, my core values, and redefining success in a way that felt authentic and fulfilling for me. And that's going to be different for everyone. But when you can tap into those core values and really know what success looks like for you, it makes living life a whole lot easier. And I'm sharing this because I know there are so many women out there who feel the exact same way. We're stretched too thin. We're constantly striving and silently wondering, are we enough? And I want everyone to know that they are not alone and that there is another way to reclaim time, energy, and joy without sacrificing the ambition that we have or losing ourselves in that process. And so, my hope is that by sharing my story, both in your book and a little bit here on the podcast, as a little teaser for the for the chapter, that your listeners and your readers will feel inspired to reflect on their own lives and identify where they might be out of alignment and take that first step toward change. That first step from where we're at to changing something is the hardest step. But once you take that first step, it becomes a little bit easier every single time. Whether it's setting a boundary, it's reconnecting with your values or simply recognizing that you deserve a life that feels balanced and meaningful. I want your listeners to walk away feeling really empowered to take action and recognize that the journey is certainly not about perfection. I had a lot of missteps and a lot of restarts along the way, but all of that is progress and we learn from those missteps and we learn from those mistakes. And it's really about realizing that you can redefine your life on your own terms. And that is so powerful when you can step into that strength. It starts with small intentional steps. So, really honored to share my story. And I hope that it serves as a reminder that reclaiming a life that matters is possible for anyone who's willing to do it and who's excited about making the change for themselves to have more purpose, to live with purpose, and to just really feel in control of every aspect of their life.
Yeah, that is so good. So I know women in general tend to kind of find themselves at a place, or at least I could speak for myself, right? Where I find myself at a place where I start looking at a deeper meaning. What is a deeper meaning? And that's what you discovered or unveiled or went on that journey to figure out with your grandpa when your grandpa passed away. But the bottom line is, we all are on a journey at some point to find and achieve our own success, but it's always going to look different at different stages and different seasons of our life. And the fact that we can just continue to evolve and reclaim our life and like you said, value alignment, right? Being aligned with your values is so important. And so I really appreciate you, Shelley, for being vulnerable, sharing your story, and just being in our book so you can serve our audience as well as our podcast audience. So thank you. And you have an amazing resource you want to share. So do you want to
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm excited to share. What I crafted for you was a 100 power thoughts to reclaim your life. And it's really designed for high achieving women, which we all are, who are ready to break free from self doubt, set meaningful boundaries, and really lean into that life that's aligned with their true purpose. So there's very carefully crafted power thoughts. And it's a simple but really powerful tool that you can use every day. You can use once a month, you can use once a week. that will really help you think a little bit differently and reclaim a life that is fully and beautifully your own.
Love that. I love it. Because we can reprogram our lives, our minds, and change our life. So I love the fact that you've given us 100 power thoughts. We could probably do one every day for the next 100 days and recycle through it again and have
Exactly.
it be our morning track to get us going on a great direction. Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Christy. Really appreciate the time, and working with you has just been an absolute joy. So thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, I'm going to bring Carla Snyder up next. Carla is, oh, let's see, got a little bit of moving people around. But Carla has been a really great addition to our project. I met her, gosh, I think it's been over a year now that since we met. We were introduced by Jane, and I just love your passion. I love a lot of the things that you're doing. I've been seeing some of your posts lately, the things that you're doing in your personal life, and I'm just really excited to have you with us today and have you be a part of this project. And so, do you want to take a moment to share a little bit about your story with our audience?
Thank you so much, Christy. And what I first want to share is how much it's meant to be with you and all of the other wonderful authors that we've worked with over this year. What an incredible way to build each of us, each of our hearts, each of our heads, and each of our resources to make sure that we can do more in the community. And I think you bring out the best in each of us. So I just wanted to really give you kudos for that. And I'm thrilled to be here also to talk about my story. So one of the exciting and life-changing things that happened for me is it was now 22 years ago, and I was at a Comic-Con conference out in San Diego with my children that were 9 and 11 and all my friends, and all of a sudden I fell to the ground and I realized I could not get up. And it was the beginning of an incredible medical journey that I took. But what I really took from that medical journey of rebuilding my entire body structurally was that it gave me the opportunity in all those days in rehab and in the rehab hospitals to really think about what I really wanted to do for the rest of my journey. And it also being in that situation and having to ask for help, something that I know none of us are really good at, right? And so I'm looking at each of you and who I'm speaking to and saying, this was the opportunity to really say, I need to get rid of my vanity, to create the right kind of humility, and to really understand how important the village is, and that I could not do it alone in that recovery, nor did I want to do it alone for the rest of my life. And so at that point, I had already had 3 different careers in the business world, and they were very taxing and exciting and creative. But I knew that my passion really was not in those jobs. And I knew that I could do something different. And I created the next part of my journey, which really took me into the nonprofit space and really building up our community. And what I've taken from all of that is I've had the opportunity to work with so many individuals as a career coach. And also, you don't know when you should start that. But for me, I love to start it when these kids are in high school, because they can really get off on a whole different direction if they know what they need to be doing for their extracurricular activities and the path that they need to take. Because one of the things that we as individuals have a tendency to do is say yes to everything. And what we need to know is that we need to strategically say yes to make sure that everything that we're visioned on is around getting to our North Star, whatever that North Star in our lives are to be. So that, is the joy that I've worked with not only young people in their first career, lots of individuals in their encore career, and now in this exponentially growing marketplace, is really helping people to understand where they can put purpose and passion and create a position for themselves that they will really find to have joy, because then it's no longer work for them. So as Christy mentioned, are some really exciting things that I've embarked on without understanding holding myself back or having a barrier to it. I'm working right now on a movie called Climate of Hope. And we're so excited, and we know that it could not be more timely with all the things that are going on in this world. And also, we have a book coming out called Climate Chaos, interestingly enough, really the most timely topic that we could be working on. And it's really an opportunity to say, just like everything else in my life, that it's not around despair, but it's around hope. And I always say one of my greatest expressions is that, this is not a dress rehearsal. We're at the show right now. So we want to make sure that we are maximizing every part of our heart and our head together to create the right kind of community moving forward. So thank you for this opportunity to share, Christy.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And speaking of North Star, you have a resource that you're sharing that is very generous. It is the gift of your time. So do you want to talk about what that career breakthrough call would entail and who would be the right person that would need that?
Right. Thank you. So yes, my work is all around impact transformation, and I'm a big believer in one-on-one kinds of conversations to really understand where someone is coming from. So in that 15 minutes, would really assess where you want to go and how we might be able to, or I might be able to help you make that journey. And I really believe that, like I said earlier, it can be for any age individual at any point in their career, starting encore and creative. And maybe I've done a lot of transformational work when people want to shift from government to education to the corporate setting, because all of those, you really have to understand what's in you and what's transferable. So that would be the conversation to start.
Great. Well, I want to thank you so much for sharing that resource, and more importantly, to sharing your story and sharing your time with us and just being a part of this journey with me and the rest of the authors. So thank you, Carla.
Thank you, Christy. Thank you.
All right. Well, next, I want to bring up our next author. This is Alexia Klonda. Alexia, welcome. You have to mute, Alexia.
I'm getting the hang of this technology. I'm learning it.
That's okay. We got you here. We got you here now. So
excellent, excellent. I am very excited and very humbled to be here in the presence of such wonderful and passionate women.
yes. And we met, I don't even know how long ago we met. We met actually before you even said yes to join this project. We've kind of been like dancing around each other, and you are really incredible. Your experience, like, I don't know if you're going to get into your past career, which I'm sure you are in your story because that's part of your story, but just everything that you have done in your life. And everything you overcome. I mean, we could probably be here for the next hour listening to Alexia, and we would all be fascinated. But Alexia, you only have 6 minutes, so let's.
I'm good.
To get the hook, so we're good. But
Thank you.
let's go ahead, and I want you to be able to share your story with our audience today.
Well, I was a professional squash player, but with a little bit of a left of field. I had life-threatening asthma throughout my professional career. I had asthma since 10 months of age, and throughout my life, even today, I have health issues. And when I reflect upon my life, every single health issue, every single personal issue or adversity has been a gift for me, an opportunity for me to grow. And it is about growth. I, playing a game of squash, winning a world title, it's all about you. And it's not really, it's great. You get the accolades, but what are you doing for other people? And I learned very early on in my life, actually when I was 5 years of age, that I wanted to help people. I thought it was going to be by being a doctor, but now I started my spiritual journey very early in my teens. I am a mindset, breathing and spiritual coach, and I love doing it. I love, the oxygen mask. Help yourself first.
Yes.
And what I do is I help people to reconnect with their own inner strengths. Mm. And we all have those in us. They are innate in us. We are born with them. And we forget because life happens to us. No, actually, life is happening for us. Yeah. And we just don't see the gift or the opportunity in learning that. And what I've learned through all the adversity, like the heart attacks, the spinal fusion, the 4 hip replacements, the life-threatening pneumonias, etc., when I've been in that hospital bed thinking that my time is up, where I've learned that, no, this is just helping me to go further. to explore further opportunities, to help me really tap into my virtues and to my attributes. And what that has done, it's helped me connect with people because I can understand people. I can empathize with people. And when you have empathy for people, you don't feel sorry for them. You don't fall a victim too. You don't jump in with their story, so you can't help them. I hold space for people to help them identify what's limiting them, what's blocking them, and help them on their path, or to recognize their path and to see that they've been on a path all along. They just haven't recognized it. And I absolutely adore what I do. I am very passionate about helping people. My mission is to help as many people, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, to get on stages, to do workshops, to inspire people to help themselves, to know that we're all here for a reason. We're not just here to make up numbers. We're here with our energy, shifting our energies, transforming our energies for the greater good, for our greater good, and for the greater good of the planet and for humankind. And just remembering that we are here for the greater good. None of us are just here making up numbers. All of us have stories in us. All of us have adversity. And it's about how we utilize that adversity, how we work through that adversity to help ourselves and to recognize we've got a lot of strengths that are here to really, as I said, the world is your oyster. Dream big. And when you have a big dream, it pulls you towards it. And I think the bigger you can dream, the better. Don't dream small, dream big. When I was 13 years of age, taking up squash and having a complete disdain for sport before that, my coach said to me, if you live, breathe and eat squash, I'll help you become a world champion. I went, yeah. And within 4 years, I was the world #1 junior. I then got really bad asthma. I had to go on a lot of drugs. And then I came back to the senior scene. I became #5 representing Australia, and I've never looked back. And I've always been thankful for every person that has helped me along the way, every person that has said I couldn't make it, for every person that has put rubbish, this big C word, the crap on me, lumbered me with their opinions. I've just gone, thank you, you've helped me in my journey. So it's recognizing that as well, that, you can control your life. You can control what you think, what you feel, and what you say, and how you breathe. You have full control. Once you're aware of that, you can change. You can shift things for your good and for the greater good.
Yes, so good. I was so just mesmerized by everything. I forgot to get off stage. You should have kicked me off. But that was so good because you are just, I've just seen some of the things that you've gone through personally in the last, 4 months, 5 months since we've been working together, and hearing your story from childhood to all of your competitive squash adventures. It's just really incredible. And you have a resource that you want to share with our audience that I can't wait to download. So it is a grounding meditation audio track. Do you want to share a little bit about that is?
Absolutely. It's a meditation, and it's about bring us back into ourselves, tap and bring us back to ground. Because sometimes we're living out in the airy fairy. We need to get grounded again into that good old Mother Earth energy. So it's 8 minutes long. I don't believe in long meditations, but it's there to, I start with the breathing, becoming aware and focusing on your breathing, bringing you back into your heart space, regrounding that beautiful Mother Earth energy and reconnecting with that infinite intelligence that is us. And you feel relaxed, you feel calm. It's a grounding and resetting and refocusing, and refocusing back into you so you can, bring out that calm. You can be the calm in the storm. It really is about being the calm in the storm.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Alexia. I really enjoyed working with you on this project, and I look forward to what's next together, what we're going to create next together. Super excited about that. All right. Well, that concludes this episode of our Mastery Unleashed series. We have some great other things in store for you. We've got a speaker summit coming up where some of these amazing women are going to be on stage. We have a lot of other great things, but please connect with them. They would love to send you a signed autographed copy of their book. You can find them all and find all of the resources in the show notes below. We will have a link for you to connect with all of them. If you want their resources, it's going to take you, the link is going to take you to our gift vault so that you can not only get their gifts, but you can have access to all of the gifts from all of our authors, as well as quite a few of the other amazing guests that we've had on our show over the last few years. So love to have you celebrate with them as we're launching this book. Love to have you celebrate yourself as you're downloading whatever resource you want. And if you love our show, we would encourage you to go to whatever platform you listen and show us some love. Especially if you're on Apple Podcasts, we would love to have you take a moment to leave us a review, share what you liked about our show, highlight one of the guests, do whatever you can to keep encouraging us and helping us spread the word about our show, because the higher ratings we get, the more listeners we have, the better chance we have of bringing on the show amazing people like we have today with Carla, Alexia, and Shelley. So thanks everybody, and especially thank all of you, my fellow authors, and thank you audience for being loyal listeners. Until next session or next episode, have a safe day and an amazing week. Bye-bye for now.